Everyone, welcome to Survivor with Jay, Jack, and Colleen. My name is Jay.
My name is Colleen.
And I'm Amber. The first time you played Survivor, Lincoln was president.
And welcome to the show. Wow, here it is. We have speculated and hoped and thought, wouldn't it be cool if we had all winners in one season? And it has finally happened 20 years after the first season of Survivor.
20 years ago today.
Sergeant Pepper told the band to play, and today we had a who's who of Survivor players, all winners. And
it was great to see everyone back. Like, it was so much fun. I didn't want them to go to Tribal the first time around. And I think I said out loud, I was like, can everyone just hang out for 39 days and then they decide the winner amongst themselves? And then Jay was like, you mean Edge of Extinction? And I was like, yes, exactly like that. Okay, I like Edge of Extinction now. I am on board.
It felt like every tribal was just so stressful because I don't know. Like I guess I'm okay with this person going home, and it's just very much like
a
lot of people didn't want to make a decision.
Yeah,
I don't want to bring a name up.
I don't want the target to be on me because I know better. Yeah, which is why I thought it was very smart when they were trying to figure out if they were going to get Adam or not, and Parvati specifically went out of her way to say, okay, so Ben, you say Adam, or something like that. I wrote it down.
Well, I didn't say that.
Yeah, and it was just fascinating.
Ben was like a deer in the headlights.
Like, man, like we kind of joke about Rob, like he's kind of hokey, whatever, but like he turned him into like
yeah.
So like what did he say?
Who was it?
I forget who this was on Twitter, so forgive me if it was you listening right now. But somebody was like, Boston Rob got Dan to speak. No, Boston Rob got Ben to speak llama. A Tony specialty.
And
just have Boston Rob interrogate criminals,
right?
He'll get a confession out of him within 5 minutes.
If there's anybody in this premiere that I was just so impressed by, it was Boston Rob, because I feel like one.
They were right, though. Like, Boston Rob and Parvati and Sandra had to have had the three biggest targets on themselves. And
somehow none
of their names, they were not in danger, any of them.
No. I can't believe that both. Well, you had Sandra, her tribe lost, Boston Rob tribe lost, and like you said, Colleen, they didn't even get their name wasn't even mentioned. How's that even possible?
And you had Rob and Parvati have this conversation like, why is nobody coming after us? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
and it's like it may be us then, right? But it was just very much.
Yeah, I didn't. Parvati
they're very
was
self-aware of the fact that.
They're the biggest threats. She was like, do you think everyone is just dumb or really scared? And Rob was like, the two of us are playing Survivor for 10 people.
and frankly, like, Rob carried his, like, literally was carrying his team on his back.
Oh my
God. That challenge. And so I just, Rob, I got to give you a shout out here. Like, clearly you're not the Rob of 20 years ago. But you're out there like jumping off boats, like landing on the things, and like
he belly flopped in the water and then like sprinted and, then, like, got
launching
everybody
people
over the
barrel thing, and then won the ring toss or the first challenge for the one. You got the only point for that team. And didn't get voted out when I would think everyone would be gunning for Rob. So
I thought for sure.
I think Rob thought for sure too. Did you see how upset he looked?
His face
visibly
when they're the
upset
first
when they
team.
lost.
He was like, he must have thought he was done, and for some.
But you know what? I think they would have. But when he confronted Danny, and Danny caved.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. This is not the person you want to vote for,
right?
Yeah.
Jedi mind trick
This is
stuff.
not. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's like everyone. I go. I would have said, no, Rob. Yeah, I brought you up, but we need you. You're the strong, and then I still would have voted him out.
Yeah.
You have to vote him out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So long shot he wins. No way they let him hang around for that long. But kudos on like surviving that first vote. And I know Amber's gone, so I know it's probably going to F him up.
I don't know if there's anybody that might not get effed up. Could be Rob. Although it was interesting.
Clearly, like they have a connection. That's kind of it's kind of a beautiful thing. Just to be, and we don't know their personal relationship, but it seems like there's a close, still 20 or 16 years or whatever it is. Like there's a bond there, which is kind of cool that they had an island relationship that turned into like a lifelong partnership, which odds are against that too, and that's kind of cool.
But at the beginning of Parvati's like,
because Amber wanted to leave a few times. You don't want to leave me. Let's have another child.
Hey.
Well, I think was he talking?
No,
to
he was talking to Parvati.
Like...
She's like, I can't believe you guys have 4 children. And he was like, somebody found something he's good at.
Yeah.
But I really like that. I like seeing the camaraderie that most of them seem to have.
Yeah, because like there's moments like with Ethan and Rob. It's like, you doing all right? And there was very much.
And we saw like the ones that didn't have that camaraderie, like Yule and Sophie, form their own little small thing, which I liked. I did take note that we had almost nothing from Natalie and Kim. So I thought for sure. Well, I thought that perhaps Jeremy was going to go home the first time around. Because after they brought that up, and I was like, "Oh, that's right. They're going to try to split up the."
I forgot about the Natalie Jeremy thing.
I forgot about it. I forgot about it also.
Yeah.
I did like that Michelle had more airtime in the first episode than she had her entire season.
We said that. I said the same thing here because I think there was a Michelle audio clip in the very beginning of the thing. I was like, oh my God, that's the most I've heard from Michelle ever.
And she had to go to tribal on the first day, first time.
Yeah.
It's like,
which
she had to give her a map.
It was like, welcome to actually having to play the game, Michelle. But
Denise had the second tribal council of the night. Was the first ever tribal council that Denise never attended in any of her time playing.
That's true.
Which is kind of crazy, also.
So I get the going for Natalie thing, but honestly, I think Adam was the better play.
Adam's smart. Natalie and Jeremy were probably a very lethal duo.
Absolutely, no
they're
doubt.
They're both really good players who aren't. Natalie is not one. Natalie, I could see Natalie and Tony clashing because they are two people that are clearly not afraid of making big moves.
Mm-hmm.
But I am really sad that we have thus far been denied seeing the two of them play because I thought that could have been really great.
That would have been a good combo.
But it is. I'm just going to point this out. It is interesting that it was Rob and Amber and they voted out Amber, and Jeremy and Natalie and they voted out Natalie. There's something there that is a common denominator. I just can't put my finger on it, but just going to point that out before we move on.
Oh, they're both former winners. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So there's that element. There's this poker alliance thing.
Which was so
it's
random.
not a thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Which was
3 hours.
It was unsettling to see Kim not
be Kim.
Yeah, not be Kim. That was unsettling for me to watch. I was like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm just not. This is not.
I was like, this is not my Kim.
You think it was Sandra's way of freezing her out? Probably. Getting in her head, messing with her game.
She did.
You think she told people, "Hey, don't talk to her.
Yeah,
it'll mess her up." Because she was messed up.
Yeah.
And I have to say, like, say all you want about Sandra's gameplay the first two, or at least her second time around. She definitely knows what she's doing. At least I was surprised to see her say that she was so emotional. I was like, who is this person? Like, can't you go throw somebody's shoes in the fire or something? And
don't call her queen because she'll do it herself.
But also we
had some great Sandra moments tonight though. Tony, pay attention.
Yeah.
Oh, her like
eyes over here.
The Jeff Probst like the additional color commentary.
Okay, they're still going over the barrel.
And I'll back it up again. Like if Jeff ever steps down, like Rob and Sandra, like hosts, I'm totally. For it.
Well, maybe not anymore.
Well, I feel like it's a bit for a show for the cameras. I mean, you have to think, and even Bossar maybe at the time was like, "No, I'm not going back." But then when you're asked, in that moment, you're like, you know what? Why not? What the hell?
Well, he said, I listened to the red carpet interviews with a couple of them on Rob Has a Podcast today, and he said that Probst gave him the call, and once he said, would Amber play? Could you think you can get Amber to play too? That they were both kind of like, we can't miss out on this. This is like a big opportunity to be a part of this.
So
so he knew after the fact.
I think.
No, I think he knew because they only had a 2-week turnaround in between.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks between.
A week or 2 weeks between seasons.
Well, why? If you're Rob, why not just tell Sandra? What's the big secret?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out because I'm pretty sure Rob and Sandra are going to end up on the same beach at some point. Pretty sure. Whether it's Edge of Extinction or at a merge or a tribe swap, they're going to end up in the same place at some point, and I'm sure that's the first thing because if she was gunning for Amber just as payback for that, which seems so silly, right? Like such a silly reason.
Do you think it's payback for that? It's just like it just makes sense. Like you break up Rob and Amber, and you break up the and it makes sense why they went after Jeremy and Natalie because it's like a tight bond.
Right. But also, I think it's Sanders' way of making her the victim. And putting the targets on Rob and Amber. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was with him for 39. He's not even honest with me. And they're like, yeah, that's just wrong. So it's very, very good gamesmanship.
Yeah,
by
I was
Sandra.
waiting for the confessional with Sandra being like, "These fools, I don't care."
Yeah, I think it's more gameplay than anything.
Yeah,
else.
I think so too.
It's true.
Did you notice how bruised everybody was tonight? I kept I was like,
how what?
Bruised.
I was noticed I'm a somebody who bruises easily at any given time. I have like giant bruises somewhere on my body.
Slight breeze can come by. It's like, ah!
Yeah, it's true though.
That first challenge is physical. So
yeah, that first challenge. But I don't think Sandra did it. But she had bruises on her arm. But again, it's a rough and tumble game.
Who pulled Kim's hair? Was it Natalie?
No,
someone pulled Natalie's hair.
Was pulled by it might have been Kim.
Okay.
Pulled Natalie.
Or Sarah.
No, maybe Sarah.
Okay, that would check out. I wouldn't be surprised about that. Sarah seems like a hair puller.
Yeah. But it's interesting.
You're a hair puller.
To see just how it was kind of really fun to see, like the stakes are so high with the $2 million. It's like everybody is a pretty high level player, save for Ben, and they're all
Ben's a mess.
Yeah, like
oh
just
my God,
turned
yeah.
into this like there's a pile of mush.
And then he was the one who went and told Adam about the plan.
Yeah.
And then the next day was like, well, I don't know. I think it was Rob and Parvati that did it. And honestly, I don't know. I think that Rob and Parvati working together is probably each other's best option at this point because it's like, the movie where it's like the two superheroes or two action stars against like, all the bad guys that are like in the circle around them and they like turn back to back and just start going. Yeah.
But yeah, I do. And it's good on Rob to kind of quickly like set that up. Like very quickly, like first things first.
Because Parvati's like, well, you came after me. She goes, well, he goes, I had to.
But she called him out. She was like, so don't try to F with me here because I don't fully trust you.
Mm-hmm. But I think very quickly they're realizing that at
they're
least on that tribe,
chance.
Yeah, they're each other's best chance. So it'll be cool. It's a neat. We'll see how long it lasts. But it's a neat alliance for the time being, just because
it'll last until one of them wants to make a move,
and
one of them will be gone.
Yeah, but they're arguably two of the best players. They'd be on the Mount Rushmore of Survivor. So it's kind of cool.
The Mount Rushmore of Survivor would be
Parvati,
Rob, Sandra,
Richard Hatch. It's 4, right? So
I was gonna say who would be the fourth one? Would it be Richard Hatch? Because they seem to have kind of pretend he doesn't exist anymore.
But he invented the game.
Yeah, he did.
I know.
He's the George Washington, right? He's the George Washington.
He's got to be on there.
Yeah. So it's like it's Hatch.
George Hatchington.
George Hatchington.
Okay.
George Hatchington. Can we get Hatchington some clothes? I don't want to drive by that every day.
I do feel like we were robbed not having him on here just to see how he would have adapted to the way the game is played now because he's such a smart person in general that.
Yeah, I love his. I don't know if he's. I haven't listened to Rob Process too much lately anymore, but when his ones with Rob are like some of my favorite episodes.
You did love when he's
very much still like a.
Well, if you watch, he has a YouTube channel and he has different videos about what's going on and.
Yeah, like his ability to kind of still dissect and understand like the gameplay and everything. Like I really would like to see his mind.
And you would think he would be. I would think he'd be a target right off the bat.
Absolutely.
You would think that Rob would be a target.
I agree.
That's what's kind of neat about the season is there's so many targets where like Tony's kind of just this little side character in it and not really even,
which I kind of love.
You know, like he's just sitting there sitting on his hands, just trying to not like F anything.
Don't go look for an idol. Don't look for an idol. Don't look for an idol.
Standing here, don't mind me. So
don't look behind the curtain.
It is a bummer that he wasn't here because I think this would have been a perfect season for him to come back just because there were so many other targets
right
to be around. So that's what kind of gives Parvati, Rob, Sandra, Tyson. Even though Tyson,
but I think we talked on the previous show. I think what happened last season and what happened with Richard Hatch and Sue. I just don't think that they just said, "Look, we don't want to."
I get it. I totally get. Yeah. I get why, but again, it's a shame. I do think because. So I think Mount Rushmore is Hatch, Rob, Parvati, and Sandra. That probably be that's my the Survivor Mount Rushmore. Colleen, what would be your?
What about James be the fifth one holding two idols? Too soon. Too
soon for sure.
And I think they built a national park. For all the rest of them, and it was called Ghost Island.
Ghost Island, yeah.
And you know what? It sucked. It was a terrible ride. It was like Legoland today.
What
the California Legoland was awful when we went. Zachary came home one day and was like, "I want to go to Legoland in California," and I was like, "Or I want to go to Legoland in San Diego," and I was like, "No." We did that. No.
No, that was
disappointing
a bad experience.
Both times we went. We weren't there the first year it was open. We went there. What was that? 4 years ago? And it was just as disappointing. I
don't think it was.
Fan.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
4 years ago. It was 2016. We went.
2016, yeah.
And now Alex would go, but he would still be. He's going to be
Colleen,
too short
what's your Survivor Mount Rushmore?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Obviously Parvati would have to be on it. Sandra. Because she's the queen.
Yep.
Unless she just has her own statue, as in like a monarchy. And what are we talking about? Rob and Sandra already had their freaking giant head statues.
Giant heads, right?
So they just have to move those over.
Yeah, just move them. Yeah, move them on there.
Who would be my last one?
Well, shouldn't Jeff be up there?
No.
Oh, whoa. But you have Jeff up there, and he's an actual talking.
No, we don't need that.
No, Jeff is like the Speaker of the House or something. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
He's the.
I tried, Jeff. I tried to help you.
He can be on the $100 bill, or or Grant. He can be a 50.
Oh man, I don't know who, because there's so many great people. Like,
what about people that never have won it?
Well, I think it's Hatch. I think you have to have Hatch because he's the one that started. Like, he's the one that set the standard.
I agree with that, but part of me wants to
backstabbing. Like,
what about Colby?
No.
What? He's not even a winner.
Well, he should have been.
Speaking of Colby, I had a thought about Colby actually tonight, but just getting back to what I think that Russell Hantz might be because he changed.
He's never won,
but he fundamentally changed the way the game is played with idols. You don't have to be a winner to be up there. I guess
there's only 4 spots.
The next gimmick, people that finished in second place.
Or third, because sometimes it's the...
Yeah, anyone that was in the final 3. Final 2 or final 3.
Second or fourth, because usually the best player gets cut at fourth.
Fourth or third.
Or, yeah.
No, but I think you have to it has to be consistent. So I think any second and third place, right?
Okay.
Anyone who went to Tribal, anyone who went to the final 3 or 2 and didn't win.
Colleen, I'm sorry to give you a question in which you have to decide something. Jack, what's your Survivor Mount
And then
Rushmore?
I had a thought about Colby.
Well, I thought we agreed on it. It was
so you're with me, Hatch.
I'm with you. Yeah, it has to be Hatch, Sandra, Boston Rob, and Poverty.
Yep.
Because Poverty could have easily won twice.
I think she should have been the 2-time winner. Nothing against Sandra. Obviously,
she
won.
Maybe Aubrey. Maybe she should have been up there.
Yeah, nah. I mean, I love Aubrey, but she's not Mount Rushmore.
I'm just saying, bitter jury. Bitter.
Yeah, sure. Oh, okay. All right, Colleen, you got something to say about Colby?
Oh, so I was thinking today about how we see Ethan and we got so much screen time with him, which makes me really hope that he's getting this like arc of, the tortoise player who turned into like the modern day Survivor Wiz player, which I'm really hoping. And it made me think about how like, the downfall of Colby and Reed. That's all.
Reed, come on.
Come on, Reed.
But what I love about like with Ethan in this episode is it's like immediately like reminded me of why we fell in love with Ethan when he played the first time.
Yeah.
Like it was immediate. It's like, yeah, that's why we love you. You're just.
He's got that personality.
Yeah.
He's got that. I want to hang out with him.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm talking about his cancer. I survived it, but yet I still live it every day. I still worry that it's going to come back, that I could die. I mean, you sit there and go, wow, God, geez, man.
Yeah. This episode firmly made me stand Ethan and hope that he goes all the way to the end.
Yeah, like it's like Ethan.
He's always been one of my favorites. So.
Yeah, and it's been a minute, right? Because I think it was All Stars was the last time he played, wasn't it? All Stars,
right? Yeah, it's been
the first All Stars.
I don't know if he's as old as Amber, but we'll see.
Amber looks great for her age.
Amber looks fantastic. Like,
Jeff mentioned
kids,
it twice though.
Girls.
Amber, you were, the internet wasn't invented, TV wasn't invented before you played. And she goes, "Well, I still look the same, right, Jeff?" And Jeff goes, "That's not in my cue cards. I don't know."
Amber aged better than Jeff. I'll tell you that much. Well,
yeah, there you go.
And let me tell you, I only have 2 kids, and I did not age as well.
Amber looks great. Like I've been an Amber stan since Australia. Jack can attest. She was my pick that season.
I want
Amber. I did notice that the amount of like I'm an old school player versus I'm a new school player kind of reminded me of like I'm a Gen X, I'm a millennial.
Yeah,
like all of those.
Well, but they were making good points that the older we didn't play with idols, we didn't play with all these twists. We did it. It was more of your gamemanship, whereas now it's been where there's so many outside influences that
somebody keeps like here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go.
Because it's almost like, well, I didn't need an idol to win. I didn't need Survivor to put one under my pillow to win.
Exactly.
So it's almost like it's like I'm more of a fan of the old school Survivor than the new school.
I would love it if an old school player won. I would love it.
Yeah.
Because have we had an old school player win since
I would
Rob?
love to see Ethan win. I think that is just...
Ethan would be great.
A beautiful...
But have we had an old school player win since Rob? And that was, 10 years ago? 8 years ago? I don't know. It was season...
Was it that long ago?
It's been a minute.
No, Parvati said she last played 10 years ago, which is
shocking
to me because I feel like Heroes versus Villains was yesterday.
But that season
even though I
that Rob
didn't watch
was in
it then.
with Russell was only a couple seasons after Heroes and Villains.
The season that Rob was in Redemption Island was the first season that I I watched the second half with you. It was South Pacific was the first one that I watched from start to finish, and then we went back and rewatched a whole bunch of others. But yeah, we were in our apartment still at that point.
Oh yeah, that was a minute. But yeah, so
that
that
had
was
been at least 8 years ago.
Yeah, and so that's the last time an old school player, right? That's the last time an old school player has won. Yeah,
it has to be. Yeah,
the last time there was old school players was the one that Sarah won.
Yeah, because Jeremy won and Sarah Lucina won.
Yeah,
Tony and
so it would be neat if there was an old school.
I would love to see it. I mean, clearly, I want Tony to win because of how crazy it would be. It would just be so ridiculous, right?
Plus, you have 5 tally points on the line.
I have 5 tally points on the line, but still.
Should they have played this one old school then?
How so?
No, you gotta.
No idols, no Edge of Extinction.
Well, I did want to ask about the fire tokens, and I
God,
feel like
it's so complicated and dumb.
It is, but maybe this is the way to kind of even the odds a little bit. Maybe
I don't know. I think that them using this as a teachable moment to come together, like the radical new players who run around like crazy people, and the old methodical like let's play to the physical and social game players, like to find a happy medium and like bring the game back to like a more moderate place would kind of satisfy people on all sides. But
were you shocked that Natalie didn't send the idol to Ben?
Production wasn't just there in her face being like, here's the note. Send this to Ben.
I thought I sent it to Sandra. Well, you spelled out Ben. Sorry.
Why did she send it to Sandra?
I think she knew that she would take it.
Yeah,
that's true.
It probably made me thinking that there's a target on her back, and she may be like,
that she would want it because these tokens, I think, are going to be important.
Yeah,
like Jay said, they're making it a big deal. So
because there's like
the more tokens you have, the better.
Yeah. Down
the road. So
I kind of like that better, and we'll see how they play the hidden idols. But I kind of like that better than where Ben won that season, where it just seemed like, well, here's an idol right in front of you again, or here's one under your pillow. But
it's also putting the strategy in the players because Natalie had to decide who she wanted to give it to.
Yeah.
If she would have offered it to say, maybe she offered it to Sophie.
Right.
She goes, well, Sophie goes, I'm not in danger. It's only good for
three times.
It's only good for three tribals. Three tribals, or your first three tribals? Is that what it is, or just three? Is it three tribal?
Three tribals. It's I think
the first three you go to, right?
No, in the past it's only been like one, like the next one. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Anyway,
but either way, she may not have bought it. So she, like Jay said, you give it to the person that knows they probably have a target on their back.
But also, it's really hard for a new school player, and I would consider Sandra, although she's an old school she's an old school, middle school player.
No, she's old school.
No, but she played in Heroes Villains, and that's kind of like that Middle Ages Survivor, right? They're the Gen Xers of Survivor. You've got like the Boomers, the Gen Xers, the Millennials, and now we're kind of in the Gen Zs.
There's been since the Jeremy winning season where I feel like it is much more. That's
frenetic?
That's the blocks, right? It's not alliances. It's the voting blocks. That was
voting
the
blocks,
development of voting blocks. So. There's absolute
an
evolution
fluid.
post Heroes versus Villains for sure.
And Sandra was so confident she didn't even play the idol.
Yeah, which I mean you have to give them credit. Like Rob, Parvati, Sandra. I would have thought that they and Tony would have been the first targets, and I mean kudos though to people seeing that you need to break up those core alliances, but. That's more of that new school play because that's more of the blood versus water kind of thing.
Yep.
So I don't know. I even said at one point I was like, well, whoever goes to Edge of Extinction has to be as good as Reem. And I think that either Denise or Natalie are our best chances of getting a Reem-like player, right? And then when Natalie went, I was like, maybe this is a glass half full, but I'm still really bummed because I love Natalie, and I did think that she had a chance to go at least to the merge. I do need to give credit where credit is due. Jessica Leese on Twitter was like, they should have done this twist where Reem was out there counseling Edge of Extinction people like the anti-Robin Sandra.
I think it'd been a lot of fun.
That would have been so much
Reem's
fun.
There, like, dude.
Yeah, hey, dude.
I would have been like, yeah, but you lost.
But it doesn't matter. It's about having fun.
She's the expert. She's the expert of Edge of Extinction,
yeah, she's
right?
the EOE expert.
True, she is the expert. Yes.
So just like you had the idols last year on the Island of the Idols.
All right, we're kicking Poverty off, and we're putting her up on my Mount Rushmore. So,
dude.
Can I hang up your shoes? Can I hang up your socks? Can I do this? Can I do this? Why am I getting voted up?
She's a great player. She's a great TV personality. If they ever do a first boot, I hope that they bring her back and she wins because either her or Francesca. I can make a case for Francesca.
I've said this 100 times. Bring Francesca back just so she gets voted off first again.
No. No.
To me, if I'm on there, it'd be an easy vote. Yeah.
Why?
Wouldn't it be fun to vote her off again? Because
No,
I think it'd be
cool.
fun.
That's not cool.
It's not cool, but that's gamemanship. Because you don't know how good her game is, right? We don't know.
Dude.
She's never made it past the first round.
If that happened, I believe
we know
Reem,
she's got a good enough game where she made people actually like. She was like their spirit guide on Edge of Extinction. That's tough to be somebody's like spirit guide.
Yeah, Reem would like slit some throats if that happened, like during the trial. No, shake.
Oh my god, can you imagine Sandra showing up on Edge of Extinction and finding Reem there, being like, "Dude,
no, you need to shut your mouth."
Yeah, she'd be like, "Don't you dude me? Don't you dude me? Where's the flag? I'm pulling the flag.
I'm pulling it for you."
Man. I did want to call out Yule's gameplay because he was very much.
He has such a soothing, calming voice. I don't like the MSMR videos or ASMR videos.
ASMR, yeah.
But I could listen to him talk.
Well, and it's kind of neat to see him who's been out of the game again for 14 years. It's been a
he even said he goes it's not even part of the he doesn't hang out with anybody.
Yeah,
he's not part of the Survivor. World.
Yeah.
Neither is Sophie apparently.
Well, and that's where it's kind of neat. They've as a Wendell stan, like it was like fan.
You know, Stan.
Okay.
Stan from the Eminem song.
I don't know.
Stan.
Have you made it this
I'm old
far?
school. I listen to music.
Eminem's a musician.
Okay, whatever.
So when I said I stan this, you had no idea what I was talking about?
Yeah.
Do you think that I was just like giving a New York accent?
No, I heard Jay say Stan. I didn't.
No, Colleen said it before. It's just
I never heard. I'm not part of the cool. I'm Yule. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that song came out only.
Don't you mean you're Ethan?
Only like
I'm Ethan. Yeah.
Charming, lovely, wonderful Ethan.
I don't listen to Eminem. I apologize.
Well,
that song is from 2001.
Yeah,
didn't listen to it.
Yeah, that's 2000. So, Jack, it's been 20 years.
Aren't you the king of like finding something that happened 20 years ago and just making the joke over and again?
You don't.
Oh my God, we've turned into your parents. We've turned into our parents.
I just became. I've just got used to the broom standing thing, so I don't know.
We tried to do it and we couldn't do it, and so many people on my Facebook took pictures doing it.
I literally did it today. It took me.
It depends on the broom. Ours has like a middle like foam center to actually pick up stuff better, and it just didn't work.
Our broom is so crappy that our cleaning lady was here on Friday, and she was like, "I don't like your broom. You need to get another one."
I went like this, and it stayed. I go, all right.
There's nothing to do with the Earth.
I know.
So anyway,
Anyway, it was a really fun episode. Cool.
But I loved Yule's gameplay too, like him forming this kind of non-connected alliance with Wendell, Sophie, and was it Nick?
Yeah, it was Nick, I believe.
I'm not a Nick fan, but I do like Wendell's one of my top.
And how he was the uncomfortable silence around Kim.
Right.
Oh my God, that was amazing. The uncomfortable
silence.
There was a lot of great, like, kudos to whoever edited this episode together, where they like brought the receipts. Somebody brought up like the Poker Alliance, and they went back to
and pulled video from
that. I remember like hearing the audio from one of those poker games on RHAP, like 3 or 4 years ago. So I was like shocked that they went back and like pulled this up. Yeah, that was really great. And like the Kim thing where, they cut to all the awkward silences, and that was great. And they did that a couple of times this season in general, that kind of backed up or brought the receipts out for Jack. In case you were wondering, when somebody brings receipts, it means there's evidence to prove what they're talking about. It's examples.
I get paper trail. I got
that
one.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, okay, great.
I get that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
But I do like, we didn't mention Tyson, who was a target, and he was able to flip it back around.
Yeah, and good on Tyson.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, of the three,
I would have gotten Tyson first.
I would have gotten Tyson out first.
100%.
If you have a chance to get him out, you got to get, because he's a good player. Well, they're all good players, but I think I would have stuck with Tyson, but he was able to convince Yule.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tony's like, no, we got to get Tyson out, but
yeah,
Tyson stayed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I guess Tyson's one of those people that you could probably get out at any point before the merge. Once you hit the merge and it's individual immunity time, like, that's it.
I don't know. You start worrying about these players that a lot of players have won because people. How many times has Sandra won because people? She can't win the challenges.
Oh, I know the answer to that.
But it's you sit there and go, God, why do they have these same? Get them out.
Well, I like that Sandra is being more subtle this time than the
but she wasn't even that subtle because
subtle for Sandra.
And I want to bring up, speaking of subtle, like, we had this Rob and Parvati scene, and then we have at Tribal Council when Jeremy starts to suspect something is going on. He's like, did Rob and Parvati, like, pull something? But
I don't think it was Robin. Did Robin Parvati make the? They just kind of went along with who went for the.
So
who looked for splitting up the Natalie and.
No, I think that originally it was the concern was Denise and
yes,
Adam, and that was the crack.
Yeah,
and then somebody was like, maybe it was Danny. No, because I believe that Danny wanted to get Adam out, right? Has that happened?
Danny wanted to get Rob out, and Rob turned that around.
Yeah, yeah, she did.
You don't want to vote me out.
So nope. I think Danny wanted to get Adam out, and at some point, it changed to. I think it was Adam decided that Natalie and Jeremy were going to be the problem, need to get split up. So
and that's where it's just like, you got to get Adam out, like.
Yeah, he's
right. I don't.
Player.
I think his story is what led him to the win, but I feel like, again, he's a smart
smart
player.
Though.
He's
like,
very smart.
Yeah. And that's
because him and Denise had a huge target. I mean, they were just going for water,
but in the game where everybody is a winner, that's all it takes.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we got lost looking for water. We got lost.
And it just is like, okay, but you got to admit, like, among this crew, like, that's kind of a lame excuse.
Right, and like
even if you did, it sounds bad.
I was really surprised that they took out Natalie instead of Jeremy because I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I was surprised because Jeremy was unanimous. Right? He was the first unanimous
winner.
And the only unanimous winner still to date, right?
Yeah.
So I would think that Adam, being a Survivor superfan, would have recognized that right away and been like, let me cripple Natalie by taking out Jeremy, who is the first unanimous winner.
In fairness, and I totally get it, because there absolutely is an undercurrent of, like, diversity getting voted out first.
They're both minorities.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, people of color and females. There is.
And a female of color got
I know. I'm
first.
saying I'm agreeing with you on that, Colleen.
Okay.
I would say Jeremy's a great player, but I think Natalie played a better game in her.
She did because she's not afraid to make big moves. I'll give you that. Natalie's a dangerous player because she's like a less frenetic Tony Vlachos.
Well, because I think they saw what happened the last time they got rid of Jeremy and left Natalie behind. So she went on a damn warpath.
Yeah, so I think she was the bigger target.
That's true.
That to me, I think if I'm looking at the two, while I do think Jeremy again played a fantastic game, he's a unanimous winner.
Oh, he did.
He's one of my favorite players of all time. Top 3 for me personally. Like, again, we saw what happened. Tamem's like, well, look.
Top 3, but not good enough to put on Mount Rushmore.
Parvati, Jeremy, and Wendell are my top 3 favorite.
Really?
Yeah, personally, and then Rob's fourth.
But just because of respect for Rob, not because he played a great game that season.
No, well, I think the All-Star season, he was in the driver's seat that whole season, even though his wife won.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And
we know.
He basically ran the table on that season. His one that he won. He was out of his element. The game changed with Heroes versus Villains, but he adapted with his next time and he won. And clearly this time he still got it.
He's still in the game, which he shouldn't be.
Yeah,
exactly. The fact that Rob wasn't the first vote out tonight, like,
I feel like he can go home
home and be like, I won. I did it. I wasn't first out. I went to Tribal Council
and I give Sandra and
Parvati
the same.
Sandra and Parvati too. Like, to me, it's like those 3. How the hell are they not one of the first ones out? It blows my mind.
Right, and And everybody knows. So I don't know how long Rob or Parvati are going to last in the game, because now everybody pretty much knows that they're, even if it's not confirmed, the rumors are out there that Rob and Parvati are working together. And that's got to, like, you know, magnetic north everybody, like, right to them, right?
If it doesn't, then...
If it doesn't, then all you guys, y'all are dumb. Wait,
then all you guys deserve what's
coming. You guys are so dumb. Wait, what's the quote? Man, you guys are so dumb.
Well, you mentioned how Jeremy's asked, you know, he asked Ben, did Amber and Rob, come up with something? And Ben's like,
Meanwhile, Ben is like, I've said so many things to so many people, and then Rob took out his snake charming stuff, and I just don't remember.
I like Ben, but man, he's probably the worst player in this game right now.
He was like a giddy little schoolboy tonight, right?
He is.
Like on one level, it was like, oh my God,
you're Boston Rob. I can't
like
tell you.
On one level, it was like, oh my God, like, dude, chill. But on another level, it was kind of adorable. But even it was like, adorable.
You can criticize Ben here, but even Danny, who I have much respect for as a player, like, was gunning for Rob, and like Rob talked to her, and bam, somehow is aligned with Rob.
Could this be Ben's gameplay?
Maybe. It could be.
Is it going to come out that Ben was trying to look like an incompetent player to go as far the Philip Shepard type thing?
No, I think that was just pure joy and admiration.
Okay, I'm just trying to help Ben out here.
Phil Shepard.
Yeah, I don't think Ben is crazy.
All right. Well, we'll
see if he brings us receipts.
Obviously, we are standing these receipts that we saw in this episode, and excited for what this season can bring. Excited for what's going to happen next week.
Actually,
Colleen, you have the last word on this episode before we go to listener feedback. Go ahead.
Okay, I will say I'm looking over the notes because I took notes and we didn't, do whatever. I do write in here that Natalie and Jeremy are trying to suss out who should go home, and Natalie names Adam. So perhaps when Adam decides that it's Natalie that needs to go, perhaps it's because a scene that we didn't see, Ben, I don't know, was in his own little spy shack and went back to, went back and told the group, and that's how Natalie ended up going home.
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah,
I will say that, and Rob and Amber being on two separate teams, like there wasn't a choice which of the pair to vote out. It was either, whoever was up to bat. And clearly Team Sandra must have been a lot smarter than, the other team, because the other side, which was Soleil. It was DeCal and Soleil.
I think it's Soleil or Salad or something like that.
Okay. I spent so much time trying to figure out how to pronounce Decal. I can't stop doing it. I spent so much time and now, yeah. Anyway, clearly Rob's team was, Sandra's team was a lot smarter than Rob and Parvati's team to know, like, keep your eye on the prize.
And that's where I give credit to Yule. I feel like Yule's driving the show there. And I think the Sandra kind of just along
Yule could win it.
No, I think Sandra and Yule and Sophie don't. I'm
not discrediting Sandra, but I do feel like Sandra's play is just like, again, anybody but me, and kind of go along for the ride and kind of just sow discontent and kind of just.
But she wasn't. She was aggressive tonight.
That's what I'm saying. Like with kind of just like influence and kind of just. I'm not saying she did.
But playing the influence game, that's a different game than what you guys say Michelle did.
But she's always done that. Yeah, she always goes in there and says, "Yeah, they were just talking about you."
Yeah.
But you know what?
She's very good at getting people's heads.
Yeah.
And that takes the target off of her, though. That's one way to do it.
I don't disagree with you. All right. Well, that's what we thought about this episode. Now it's time to get into what you all thought with listener feedback. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Listener feedback. All right. It's listener feedback time. Time to hear what you all thought about the season premiere of Winners at War. Season 40 of Survivor. Colleen.
It's good to have a drink before war.
Take it away. That was kind of fun. It was kind of hokey, but kind of fun.
You don't want to go to war, Jeff.
Well, I will say, like, it's funny that we had the most actual honest and serious discussion when we went to commercial break that we weren't recording, that I'm sure people would have appreciated, but whatever, about the actual episode. So it's up to you guys, listeners, to
would you you're throwing those glass into the sand. I mean,
well, it's glass, so hopefully they're not plastic cups.
No,
I'd rather be plastic because glass breaks.
I think it had to. Yeah.
Yeah, but the glass breaks eventually. It gets turned into nice sea glass.
That's true. By the way, I know this was very contentious on Twitter, where somebody was like, I think it was Jessica Lewis, maybe, was like, that's an excellent champagne pour to get 20 sips out of one glass. And I actually tweeted at her because I was so like, are you serious right now? I was like, mark my words, there were definitely at least 3 bottles. As somebody who has poured her fair share of champagne, I can guarantee you that they did not get 21, including Probst, pours out of that one bottle. Just saying.
It's easier just to drink it out of a thing that holds a vase, a giant vase.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best way to drink champagne.
That is the best way to drink champagne. Little
known fact.
Yeah, or they could have just passed the one bottle around, everybody takes a swig. Then I guess it would maybe last 21 times. I don't know. Anyway, all right. First bit of feedback. Mandy.
Mandy
says, is this what every week will be like? I don't want anyone to go. Well, maybe except Ben. He can go. Sarah can go too, but everyone else is off limits. You know what to say? I thought that Ben and Sarah and Nick and possibly Adam, although not really Adam, but he was like my distant fourth, would be the easy sacrificial lambs that if I had to pick, like, pre-merge boots. And Ben's, like, pure joy at being around everyone reminded me of, like, maybe if I played, like, the pure joy that it would be to be around all those people. So I can't hate on it.
Well, that's why I'm wondering if he's doing it for the game, if that's his strategy.
No, I think he's just that happy.
Okay.
He just seems so, like, just pure joy. And if it's for the game, then I retract all of this. But it's the pure joy that makes me really, like, it endears him to me more so. But if it is fake, then
because there's a lot of egos on that beach.
Yeah.
So if you're going to, you try and stroke those egos best you can.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't disagree.
I think that would be good gamesmanship.
It would be, and I'm glad you're trying to, like, change the narrative that he wasn't like a big pile of.
He was a big pile of mush. He spoke llama. Like,
it wasn't.
I'm trying to help him out.
You don't have to. You don't have to. Just he needs to own his game and just go with it.
Well, maybe that's his game. I'm trying to help him out.
You don't have to. He's fine. He's a millionaire. He should be fine.
Yeah, he gets idols under his pillow, literally. He's going to be okay.
He's going to be all right. He's going to be all right.
I'm pretty sure they gave him
They'll add a new fire challenge so he doesn't have to go to extinction if he wins the fire challenge. He's going to be fine.
Yeah, and now the final 5. You can't use your idol after 5, but you can go to fire. All right. Sorry. Well, except Ben, he can go. Sarah can go too. Everyone else is off limits. Yeah, I'm okay with losing Sarah.
Yeah, me too.
Like I said earlier, she tweeted this at me, actually. This is the only time that Edge of Extinction is acceptable, and I'm thankful that we have it this season. Agreed.
And that's why I love the tokens. Like, the token play kind of being on the island, like them playing on the Edge of Extinction, and them kind of playing for tokens. Like, maybe that's going to be how they get their way back in the game.
Well, plus they don't. Each player won't know how. You shouldn't tell. Well, this is another thing. Like an idol, you shouldn't tell someone how many. I have 10 tokens. You shouldn't tell anybody that.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that. Well, Ben might blab out how many he has, but I think that with the exception of Ben and maybe Danny, because she seemed to be kind of chatty too, maybe they will keep their token count close to their chest. But I like that. I don't know if I like that, like it's a token money kind of idea, because that feels kind of icky to me. But but at the same time,
no, but it's more like truly what money is, like a trade and barter kind of thing.
That's
you're trying
true,
to find
and that's
it,
true.
and
You're right. You're right.
To me, that's at least more. There's more. It brings more strategy into the advantage angle. Like you're just
I
going to
just
stumble
don't
on
want,
advantage.
like-
It's like how do you play your tokens, and then like is that and also the gameplay of like them being on extinction, and then giving those advantages out. Like to me, there's just it takes
true. I
away
just
the
don't
just
want-
stumbling on an advantage.
That's true. That's true. That's a great point. It also ensures that nobody is getting a tooth fairy.
Yeah.
Idle fairy rather. I just
you know that couple weeks Ben's going to be walking around with a bag of tokens.
I just walked along and
I just found
this
these.
bag of tokens.
You know how you go? I don't know if they still have it anymore. Like those little metal change things that
Yeah.
Oh,
that
they
people,
still have
Can
them.
I get 4 quarters? Sure. He's gonna have one of those full of tokens.
Oh my god. That's very true though. He's gonna collect them in like one of those little POG containers. Somebody from CBS is like, "Oh my God, we have these POG containers in a factory left over from 30 years ago. Let's use these on Survivor."
But then Rob will say, "Hey, give me your tokens." Okay.
And that's how Boston Rob.
Even though you're not allowed to do that, right? Or you can't steal the tokens.
You can't steal the tokens.
And that's how Boston Rob won Survivor.
And that's how he won $2 million.
Okay, let's say this. Rob wins this season. Is he the best Survivor player of all time? Does he dethrone the Queen?
Yeah. Because there's no reason. There's no reason he should be there at the end. And if somehow by the chance of it'll only be his gameplay and I guess a bit of luck, but there's no reason he wins this. There should be no
reason that he gets past
that
like
he
to the merge.
Gets to the merge. There should not be a scenario where he gets to the merge.
And I agree actually. I love Sandra and I hope she stays the queen for forever. Like I do.
Or if Poverty wins, is she the new queen?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Sandra
threats.
would be okay with. I don't know. I
think any of those.
I don't think Sandra would be okay with either one of them winning.
I
don't think so either.
Well,
like
sure,
I think that
Sandra's
Sandra's hoping for like a Michelle repeat where they win by default. So she can still be like, I'm still the queen.
Well, yeah, and I think
you might have won the electoral college, but you didn't win the popular vote. Like that's Sandra's best case scenario for bragging rights.
I think yeah, if somehow any of those people that they should have been voted out day one. If any of those people are there at the end, then yes, they're the best of all time. Without question.
All right.
But if it's Ben by just finds a bunch of like no, sorry, dude.
What if it's like a Tony or somebody who
Tony too? Like there's no reason.
If Tony makes it wins it, then yeah, you have to strongly consider him the best player of all time because again, he shouldn't make it because you can't trust him.
Right. So
how does someone like that you can't trust win the game?
Yeah.
Would you put somebody like Tyson in that category too, or
Yeah.
no? Because Tyson evolved and adapted his game and got to play in modern day Survivor. Because I don't know if I would put somebody like Tyson in there, who again like adapted, like played old school, played middle aged, and then played. Well, I guess no, he started in Tocantins, which is middle aged. So he played middle aged and then middle aged. He played like Gen X and then like Millennial Survivor.
I don't know.
Because I don't know if Tyson would totally count, like with somebody like that who. Because
I
don't think that Rob also falls in that category where he tried so many times and evolved. But again, he's such a big threat, and he was, had a statue last season.
No, Rob to me is top. There's top tier, second tier. I think Tyson's second tier. Rob is top tier because frankly,
we love Tyson.
He won the All Stars game. He brought Amber. It was between the two of them that went to Amber, but it was his gameplay that brought the two.
And why did Amber go out this? Because Rob wasn't there to protect her.
And so Rob to me, and again, not taking anything away from Amber, but that was his alliance that he built and everything, and then his alliance member won, and then he won again on his own, and he had two not as great performances, but still. Like he's kind of essentially won twice, and so that's top tier.
You know what, Rob?
Sandra's top tier. She's won twice. Parvati
should
have won twice. She's
Parvati's
top tier. And to me, Tyson's like second tier, where like again you shouldn't allow him to hang around that long. But yeah, and then that's where like Jeremy's like second tier, where had one amazing game, one not so great game. But that's the only 2 times he's played, right? So like he hasn't had a lot of beyond that.
So. Pick me. Okay, so you know how you've been playing chess a lot lately?
Yes, I have been playing chess a lot lately. Yeah.
And you've been trying to teach me?
Yes, I have been trying to teach you.
I think that Rob's best move is to castle up. Is that the phrase?
You mean castle?
Yes.
How? Like, why castling?
Because he wants to put people around him that are going to protect him.
Yeah.
And if he can do it for the best of the alliance, like we're the ones, if he can convince other people like Parvati, but Parvati I think knows exactly what she's getting into, as we've seen in confessionals that she knows exactly what she's getting into. But if he can convince some of those other ones that they're just as big of threats as he is, and they all need to stick together as a unit, and they can castle around him, then he has a good chance.
Well, I think Parvati and Rob are obviously using each other.
Hey, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to stick with each other as long as they can.
I'll ship Parvati and Rob all day. And it kind of works. I think it kind of works for Parvati, too, where she was always maybe the more flirty player, but she probably feels safer with Rob in that.
Well,
like,
she grew up.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying she talked about how she doesn't want to be the flirty player. She's like a wife, kids, whatever.
And I can totally, honestly...
Because Rob seems to be a family man, so she probably feels safer, probably...
I don't think she feels safer. I don't think that Parvati is somebody that feels safer based on other people's...
You're right.
Well, they have kids, so...
But they both have kids, so there's probably just a better... Or there's a connection there that maybe she feels that she can share with him.
No, I think, honestly, I don't think that's that. I think that it is straight up Parvati knows that Rob has no other options, and they need each other.
Yeah, that's true.
All right,
they're the 2 biggest targets.
I think it is as simple as that, and they are the 2 superheroes. Like, they are Thor and Captain America standing back to back, fighting the glove guys stuff in a circle.
Even though they're both in an alliance right now, can we agree there's no way they both make it to Final 3?
There's no way they both make it to Final 3.
Because there
will be a swap before then. They might be able to protect each other through a swap. But again, we don't know if Rob finds out next episode that Amber goes out
Rob
and then just goes ham.
Yeah, Rob could lose his
Like, that might be the thing. Like, Boston Rob is so cool and calm and collect under pressure, but, like, his wife went home.
Well, no, I think he was
the thing that breaks him.
He had that confessional.
Yeah.
Which one?
He goes, when he said, he goes, yeah, I'm upset. I'm glad we won, but I'm upset because
it could be.
I can't protect Amber. I can't protect my wife.
But I
think he knew she was toast.
He didn't. I didn't see.
Just like he felt like he was toast.
Eyes, like the first time around.
Just like he felt he was toast when they lost the first challenge. Like his face. Like if you go back and watch that, there's like, oh, he must know he's gone.
But Amber doesn't have the same gamemanship that Rob has.
Yeah.
Or like a Sandra. Poverty.
Yeah. Well, again, she hasn't played in so long, but I give her credit for coming back because she must have known the target was going to be on her back.
I can't wait to watch Amber play at EOE.
Yeah,
because I really like Amber, so I like I said, I can't wait, and I hope that she gives it a fighting chance. Okay, Mandy continues.
Oh my God.
Denise didn't go to tribal.
How long is this email?
Yeah. It's not that long. We're literally on the 4th sentence. We keep talking.
You gotta read quicker. I don't know why you're reading so slow.
Denise didn't want to didn't go to tribal council tonight. Her curse is broken. Hey Jack, Survivor is looking for new players. Apply now. If we both get on the same season, can we agree now to an alliance? Don't say that. Nope. You guys are going to be screwed. You'll be the podcast alliance.
Yeah, the podcast alliance. You don't need to look at the poker alliance. You can't have that.
Well, I would. She'd be the first one I'd vote out. Just so I could say, see, there was no alliance.
Exactly. But no, because she has Girl Scout cookies. Just saying. Anyway, thank you, Mandy, for your email. All right, next up.
I'll be in an alliance, but your email's got to be a lot shorter.
Yeah.
That wasn't short at all.
I think we should have Colleen not read it, because Colleen...
Yeah, it's not. No, we talked for like ages in between.
Colleen,
that was not a very long email.
Like a little speck of dust where I was like, oh, look at the dust.
No. All right.
Pick me.
I guess she spent like 20 minutes just to get to the next email.
No, there's another one.
I spent 20 minutes.
Are we doing a marathon podcast?
Yeah, apparently.
Yes,
the
because
tote board say?
This is old school. Because old school does a marathon like a
how
tortoise.
much have we raised so far?
Listen to first of all, $2 million is the goal. I believe that.
Can we get the next email?
Oh my goodness, Cranky Pants! Go play chess on your phone.
She just
Leave
gets
us alone.
sidetracked so easily.
Huh?
She gets sidetracked so easily.
Victoria says
it's like podcasting with Matt.
No, it's like podcasting with Ben.
I resent that. I resent that a lot. You guys are the worst.
Jay for the win.
Well, you know something? I just looked down and there's an idol hidden underneath my chair. So I'm going to play it and I get to stay in this podcast for another at least
Where's my mute button?
4 nights. If you mute yourself, it sounds like Jay is the only one laughing at me, and then that sounds even weirder. Trust me, because there was this one time on the broadcast where I said something funny, and Amanda didn't laugh, and Shandy did, but she was muted, so it sounded like it was just dead silence, and it was really awkward. And I was like,
"Well, I've muted it because some people complain when I laugh." So,
all right, Colleen, we still haven't gotten to the email.
Oh my God, who cares? It's the first episode. Leave me alone. Victoria says, "Welcome back, guys."
Victoria.
I was so hyped for this season, but for me, the flow was off. Oh, I totally disagree, girlfriend. I did enjoy seeing the winners, especially beautiful Ethan, but man, I had some issues. Oh my goodness. Okay, wait, we've got the contrarian view coming upon us. I actually didn't enjoy the pacing. It was so weird not hearing more stories and getting to know each other like the regular seasons. From the first minute, names were being thrown out. I didn't like Rob confronting Ben on day one. I kind of did.
Yeah, like what else was going to do? It worked.
I liked it because it speeds the podcast up.
It's all about us. Clearly. On a regular season, the aggression might be a rookie no-no, but because Rob does it, he's considered really good. It was a little too aggressive for me. In that defense, I think we just spent like an hour talking about this. Like, you're in the winner's season, and they are coming for you. Yeah. So you have no choice but to counterpunch.
Yeah.
You have to.
In short, Victoria, he's just fighting back. I hate myself
because Amber didn't fight back.
Yeah.
That we saw.
She continues, I did enjoy Tribal Council, though. Adam made some good points, and I thought, he might be a threat. Yes, I know! That's why I would have voted him out. But of course, I'm probably just wanting to see some drama early on. Parvati and Rob said it best. They are the biggest threats, yet no one seems to throw their names out. Side note, Ben validated my opinion when he was given the win and definitely didn't earn it. Fair enough.
Sorry, Ben. Good guy. Seemed like a good guy.
He does seem like a good guy.
Nothing against you.
Yeah. I didn't see Natalie going home. It just seemed like an easy cop-out with absolutely no strategy. And then there were all these elements, tokens, of extinction, wives, and players playing with each other 3 or 4 times. A lot is going on. I'm definitely here for it, though, and excited to watch this next hour. In which she continues, wow, I loved the second episode. I don't know, for me, the pacing was better. The challenge was a tough challenge, and it was fun to watch. The challenge was really fun to watch.
Yeah. Like Jeremy just coming in and just...
Jeremy coming in and just, like, beast-moding it down. And, and Rob coming in and beast-moding it down. I felt really bad for Wendell, because that is, like, one of Wendell's... I say Wendell like the town in North Carolina. It's Wendell. But, like, that's one of his things. So, like, I just, it was crazy. I didn't know who to root for. I kind of wanted it to be a tie. I was happy to see that Kim was there because for a second she wasn't getting any airtime. I know, I agree. We talked about the Kim thing. I felt that this episode was different because it showed vulnerability, and I appreciated seeing Tyson actually humble himself.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Wendell this season because
he grew a heart.
Yeah, actually, and I think it was Mike Bloom.
His daughters, yeah.
I think it was Mike Bloom, Jane Jack networking podcaster as well, who pointed out on Twitter, like, Tyson's very first season, he said, like he likes making people cry, and now he's evolved, having children, and he's crying on the first episode that he's here, which goes to the evolution of people getting older that we've talked about, like Parvati, Rob, and I was going to bring up myself. Like, I don't podcast about Survivor the way that I used to back when we did the Tribe 10 years ago when I didn't have, kids and, I was a lot younger and more carefree. So, like, I think that it's just kind of...
Just go ahead and say it, happy.
No, not happy, but, like, I was a lot more inappropriate back then. I think there's a review on our feed, and they were like, Jay and Jack, Survivor JJC, the podcast that tamed Colleen. And I'm like, I think it was my kids that tamed me, but yeah, good point. But I don't know, but, like, it's interesting to watch players play from a different point in life. And I think that actually hits it on the head, why it's great to see these people that we, know and love back, but it's also interesting to see how they've grown like the rest of us, where they are not, because if they came back and they were the same people that they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Russell Hantz would be the same player.
He would be the same. Yeah, but he's one of a kind. Like, I think that, hearing the maturity is good because we've all matured. Like, they are us. These people are us. Okay, anyway. I'm rooting for Wendell this season. I'm surprised that he was on the Out Alliance. Tribal
that works for him. Honestly,
I know it does.
Yeah.
Tribal was, as always, full of Tony being Tony. And, of course, the Queen does what she does best, throwing out little pebbles of information, hoping that someone takes the bait, which Kim did. Keep fighting, Kim. You're one of my favorites. The end.
Now, if you're Amber, and you're like I mentioned earlier, Tyson was smart enough to go and kind of get his name off the chopping block. I would have totally have gone after Kim. Kim's a bigger threat to win.
Yep.
Than Amber, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you don't want Amber on. You don't want Amber on the jury if Boston Rob makes it to the final three, because that's a vote for Boston Rob.
Right.
But if Amber's if Kim's that close to being voted off this early, and she, like she said, she controlled her season. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't. She was the Boston Rob of that season.
She was, and it was her first time playing.
Yeah.
And you know that she's getting the silent treatment. Why don't you go? Yeah, I know you people probably want to get me off, but Kim is the better player.
Also, that's what she said.
That's why I get it.
You didn't see it coming, but I gave a big
I know you want to vote me out of the game.
There you go.
But Kim is the bigger threat, and that to me that was the mistake of the game. You need to get. I would have got Kim out. Yep. If you don't want her, if she's not working with anybody, get rid of her. Because the longer she's one of those players, the longer she stays in the game, the bigger threat she becomes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a little bit of feedback through the Facebook messaging, and Shandy, my co-host on the broadcast, who has also been a guest host on this show, sent me a message. She did some research because she's her husband is French and French American, and she did some research because she was curious about the champagne that Jeff Probst popped. It is a $45 bottle of champagne from France. So they didn't skip.
Is that kind of cheap for a show like they're giving away $2 million? I mean, $45.
That's what they can give that. She said, so I was really worried they're going to pop a bottle of Cook's or something, but at least this looks respectable. So they didn't go with the $4.99 bottle of champagne is what we're talking about here.
Or they just took the old bottle and poured it in.
Shandy's choice, yeah. So thank you, Shandy, for that. But anyway, yeah, overall, I'm really excited for this season. I'm really excited. Jay, do you want to tally the votes?
It's time to tally the votes. We do.
Can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
Less 2-hour episodes. I don't like the 2-hour episodes.
Yeah, me neither. But at least this one didn't seem like it was taking forever.
The last one that didn't seem like it was taking forever was the Second Chances, where Sandra and Tony went head to head.
That's right.
Because the first hour we were like, oh my God, Mom and Dad are getting along. This is the best. And then the second hour we're like, Mom and Dad are fighting. We don't like this anymore.
All right. So, I need to make a new notepad here. Season 40.
Did you not do this? Because I have it.
No. I have the pregame picks. It's another thing for the.
Well, lucky for you, Natalie was first on our list.
Shh. Natalie.
Spoiler alert.
Jack was a first final three gone.
0 points.
Well, wait, time out. She can still make final three.
I guess sure, but didn't we say the last time this was like based on?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think we had two separate tallies going because at some point when we knew that they were going to get back in, we had who do you think is going to get back in, and we realigned or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think we decided that if they get back in, it's.
Well, then this whole preseason pick doesn't matter because they could all get back.
Well, I'm not the one that has edge of extinction. I'm all get rid of it.
No, so nobody got points. Jack, you said final three, and both Colleen and I said merge. And then for Amber, Jack, you get a point. You said pre-merge. I said merge. Colleen said final three.
No, I said merge, parentheses, could be final three.
Oh, no, I have final three here.
Nope. If you go down and count my final three. Oh, that was Amber.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Jeez,
so technically right now, both Colleen and I have lost our final three for now.
We're winning.
At least I was honest, admitted, I had Natalie's final three.
I did,
no, I didn't pick her final three. I didn't pick her. I did. I did pick her.
I didn't tell I did. Then I did.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. Jay thinks that Parvati's going to the final three, and she was your winner's pick during the preview show.
I love Parvati so much. So much.
We had winner's picks?
No, we didn't. What I put in parentheses was things that we unofficially.
Well, it is time for our winner's picks we pick after the first episode. So I'm going to go ladies first since it was two ladies knocked out in this first episode. Colleen, your pick.
So it's
my winner's pick or next boot?
No, winner's pick. Who do you think is going to win the season? Remember, this pick, if it goes all the way to the end, you get 15 tally points. If it goes out at any time.
Okay, so you guys are really good at numbers and stuff. I'm good too, but not the math part. So remember, I have the 5 points.
Isn't that what math is? It's about numbers.
So I have the 5. No, it's not. So
I don't say numbers, but I'm good.
Come on, Ben, make a pick.
Listen, stick to the plan. So remember how I said that I would get 5 points if Tony got to the final 3 and won.
Yes,
right. So I'm wondering, do I put Tony additionally as my winner's pick here because I would get 20 points then.
Yeah, but you can hedge.
But he has to win.
Can win. You can kind of hedge your bet by saying another person you can win because in
that's just gravy if he gets to final 3. Yeah. But
that's diversifying your portfolio. You could say I'm going to only buy Apple stock, and then that's great if Apple does well. But if it fails, well then everything's gone.
Ugh.
But in fairness to those that buy a bunch of Apple stock, Tony is not Apple stock.
What kind of stock is Tony? Just out of curiosity.
God, what would be the worst thing you could pick? I don't know.
What's Ben?
Kodak. Let's say Kodak. One time it was good, but I wouldn't buy it now.
Oh no, that's so mean.
I'm just saying. Anyways, Colleen, who's your winner's pick?
Would you guys kill me if I
pick Tony?
Would you kill me if I said Michelle?
No, it could happen.
It's not gonna happen. I kind of want to think that, okay, in my ideal scenario right now,
I'm running out of storage on this computer, Colleen. So please take.
Okay, in my ideal scenario right now, Kim would get back in and be the Chris Underwood. Is that his name? Chris dude. And win. But I understand that that's probably also not likely to happen. But Kim is really smart. So all that is to say,
please take your time.
Ethan, I love Ethan. I love Ethan. I just want Ethan to win. So
I think it's a good winner's pick. I do think it's a good winner's pick. All right, Jack, you're up next.
I think it's either Yule or Danny's going to win, and
we have gotten a lot of positive from. Yeah.
I'm gonna take Danny.
Danny, okay.
I think she's less of a threat than Yule.
I think Yule's going to go pretty far. I think Yule and Sophie alliance is going to be tight.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm going to go with Hart here. I'm going to say Wendell. I think he's in a good position. But all right, who's going home? Episode 2 is just one going home. Jack, go first.
I want to go first. I know this one.
You want to go first again?
Well, I've got a guess for this one.
Go.
I think it's going to be Rob.
Rob?
I think he's going to... I think we're going to see him blow up his game.
Okay. Jack, go.
I'm going to say it's going to be... I say Tony.
No! No.
Can you? That's gonna peak up the audio there.
You don't level it. It's fine.
Yeah, I know I don't level it. That's the reason. I'm gonna say. I think Kim goes home. Why not? All right, there you go. There we have it. There's our picks for next week. We'll see how it plays out. Jack is currently in the lead with 1 point. So good for you.
Season's over. It's done.
Everybody else has no tally points. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode. Give us a call at 385-309-0311.
Calling time.
Also, send an email to survivorjjc@gmail.com.
Also, and could you do us a favor? Keep the emails under 20 minutes.
Oh my God, we talked. She literally had a 5-line email.
Join our Facebook group at facebook.com/group/Jay and Jack group. We do a lot of fun TV show discussions. Check out jayandjack.com. Click on the Become a Patron link today. We're on especially thank Tab from Tokyo, Eckhart Richter, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with the Plan, Drake the Destroyer, and Ed the Creepy Letter Carrier. If you use Amazon, use our link, jayandjack.com/Amazon. And, excited for this season. We'll see you guys next week.
I'm so nervous for this season.
Hasta luego. And goodbye.
Peace out.
Bye.